out as me. I think I was playing. Oh, I was playing this War of Mine on my iPad on Friday.
Oh,
so.
Man. I can't do it. It's good. Like it's good, so good at what it does that I don't want to play it.
Yeah, no, I get filled with anxiety. I feel like I'm going to get everyone killed. It's kind of like it's the hard part of Papers, Please, without the neat little puzzles.
Yeah, it's just
everyone's gonna
like
die.
The most stressful version of The Sims with like really high stakes and deaths and everything.
Yeah.
Have you tweeted and twitched?
I have the auto tweets set up.
Audio?
Oh, we do. Yeah, sorry, I turned it off because it was doubling up with the other thing I was doing.
That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex. So I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Hey, Taylor.
Hey guys. So if you weren't there at the end, he was just talking about how it took him, I think 4 months was the specific number to make this level, which was twice as long as the longest previous game.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Davey found that strange at the time. My memory to remember the number, my ability to remember that is because I'm special. Is there still echo in our speaking audio or just the game audio?
Yeah, if there's echo with the speaking, I don't even know what to do with that. But if it's, I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the game audio because the game audio could be coming through the microphones.
Yeah.
And yeah, there might not be much we can do about that because we have to both hear it.
If anyone's wondering why I jump on stuff, it's just
because you've been in tester before.
Yeah. And Source Engine.
So he's made a level that has a facade to it. I imagine that, yeah, for somebody who is not a professional level artist, making something this nice, I mean, it would take a lot of time and effort.
Work. Okay, I'm assuming
that's true of actual theaters too. You can't actually climb the ladders.
Yeah, they're just painted on. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alright, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you'll be playing as me. We're at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against the wall. This one. Good. Stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It is your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something for her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello? Sorry, I have to leave. Where's the bathroom? Let's start with hello. I think that seems...
Alright. I was gonna go for the bathroom intro.
Yeah, I know. I usually go there. Hello, that's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. It sounds like my internal monologue. I'm super scared. I like you. You're all of my hopes and dreams. I usually would say number one. If I'm feeling...
Right. I'm super scared right now.
No, 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 that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones bounce when you touch them. That bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again.
Nope.
Are you having trouble getting to her? Or are you just
no, I'm doing
around?
this on purpose.
Okay. I think it'd be funny if it was like virtually impossible to get to her because of all the bouncies around. Wait, are they bouncing you off, but they're not moving? Okay.
Yeah, they just bounce me around.
Can you play the,
So she's happy right now. Happy, wise, successful, focused. What are some sacrifices you've had to make? Real life, start with questions. When you're getting to know someone, start with questions.
Sounds good. What are some sacrifices you're doing? You're messing it all up again! You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. Thanks, Coordinator. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Whoa, how far back?
This is going to be an optical illusion, is my bet. You can't actually walk that full distance. Oh, and now I've been...
Now we're in the prison. It's building. Oh, what?
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution, social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his game. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer.
How far does this go? That far.
But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
I'm sure at this point we're supposed to be noting, gosh, his games are taking longer and longer to finish without getting necessarily more complex.
Yeah. To play this game, probably just keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Okay.
I'm going to try it.
Okay.
You keep your eyes
I'll
open.
keep watching. Okay. You close your eyes.
Stuff's happening, isn't it?
Yes. So if you want to say, okay, somebody just said, people just thought, why did I go blind? I can't see. Your options are the number 1, which I am touching, is help, I'm blind. 2 is I can't see anything, and 3 is what's going on.
I'm not pushing anything. What happens when I walk around?
You're walking around. There's a room full of boxhead people who say blind. And you just started over.
Oh.
And maybe you need to speak. But it looks like the deck of a spaceship.
Open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much
okay.
impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
So everyone else is blind. And you can say blind things to people. Oh, you're crashing. Oh, look at that.
Am I going to be killed by a giant door? Was that character's text.
Help, I'm blind. Oh, that's it? That's all the talking you can do? Okay, what? Is there an exit? Is there a switch you can pull on the door? Oh, what? Oh, we're upstairs now. Oh, I have to speak something honest. I'm bursting with creative energy. No! That's not true! You're not bursting with creative energy.
I'm gonna try a couple different entries. What's going on?
Yes. We did fly into a door.
Oh, that's the door that usually has the switch.
Yeah.
I can't keep making these.
Yes, that's it! That's the truth! Truth on my face. I don't feel it anymore. I'm out of ideas. It's draining me.
First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So, where's that come from? But then, even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing.
I just noticed the line.
Here was the point in my relationship where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
It's draining me.
Keep going, keep talking. I can't figure out how to say the thing. I'm alone or I'm stuck in it?
Stuck in it.
We're going to be okay.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Chronatosis, thanks to relativity, that's a meaningless distinction. Whether the door flew into us or whether we flew into the door, as long as neither of us was accelerating, it is the same. Hello? Where am I? What is this? What's the meaning of this? What's all this then?
So,
Do you have a... You don't have a...
perceiving anything? My agree. Okay.
I think...
Let's go with the most desperate. Hello.
I wish we could have said, what's all this then? Where did this island come from? How do I get out of here? Hello? Is anyone there?
I want to reach someone.
Huh.
I want a connection.
There is an island over there. Yeah. Chronatosis, one of our hobbies is being pedantic about random jokes. So
It's true.
we do that to each other all the time.
Completely out of ideas. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give to my work. He doesn't feel out of ideas.
Yeah.
He feels drained.
Yeah, try to create a feel empty might be the closest. Or, well, I don't know. Your train says say nothing left to give. I feel 2, but if you feel 3, go for it. You're in charge.
I'm gonna do
Go with 3.
3.
Yeah, feel 3, do 3.
Did you hear the music hiccup?
Yeah, I got a... I don't know if that was in response to what we did.
It was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. I feel more like 2.
Go for it. So, in the fiction of this game, I'm wondering if the music is supposed to have been from Coda, or if the music was supposed to be added by Davey.
I know where it is. It isn't far. What? You have to take me to
Oh,
it.
Montprance has discovered us. That's what that noise was. I'm sure he's coming.
What? You take me to it. I need to see it to know why it stopped.
Like, making art
If the
about
last game featured
your inability to
Coda
create
talking
art.
explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet still,
I didn't
he
push
keeps making
deal.
games.
Oh,
In
really?
case anyone's
Throwing
wondering.
Oh, that's
himself into
interesting.
writer even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
See, there have been times when I've been stuck in an idea and I will start writing into it like a Word document my frustrations about
Sure.
not being able to come up with an idea. Like,
Yeah.
and I'll just start talking through it. And eventually, often it'll get me going,
From my
but
perspective at the time, and just what
making
I
a game
knew
is
of him,
complex, though. That's
this was a result of
process
how
to go through
isolated he was.
for that.
He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
So this to me is more evidence that this is all one game.
Yeah.
Piece from up front. The
Yeah.
fact that I know this puzzle.
Yeah, the fact, yeah, this assumes that whoever's playing it has seen it before, has been playing through this game. I mean, granted, if Coda's making them only for himself, then sure, you know. But basically, this door is talking to us about Davy's commentary on the door,
Right.
more than it's talking to us about itself.
First
Yeah.
you have to open the door.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
That's everything I said while I was here.
Okay, here we are.
It's like a wheezing sound. These are just words on some walls.
Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous, and that you love it 100% of the time.
Okay, making games is easy.
Ah, that feels wonderful. But it wasn't true. Thwunk. It comes back up again. I don't know.
So why did it feel so awful when I said that?
Don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy.
I'm constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work.
Keep going.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it looked really unhealthy. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
And these are lines from other
previous games,
previous
yeah.
games. But not necessarily the ones you chose.
Every time I make something, I feel better about myself.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this was the worst thing for me.
I'm going to vomit.
Oh, I wasn't reading that. That was from the screen?
That's from the screen.
Okay, good.
Crane breathes effortlessly off me. Any sacrifices made for my work are worth 100% of the time. It always pays off eventually. Oh, the sacrifice is one.
It keeps getting broader and broader.
This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
So I think these are choices that I made.
There was a couple an earlier one where you were like, when you were in the phone booth giving an explanation of what you saw, there were a couple of the opposing choices together.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Stop it. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
So each game has been 1 month longer than the previous one.
Yeah. The machine. That's what I call the baby carrier that I strap on and put Milo on my chest.
I call mine the Wrap, which is a less scary name for a baby carrier.
Yeah, I call mine the machine. I say, Milo, you ready to get in the machine? Yeah.
Man, I'm glad to see you arrive safe. Huh, suddenly we're using a lot of feminine things, like the woman over there.
Yeah.
I tend to be brutal.
Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. And now it is spelled, so everyone knows how to do that. I like that it calls itself Coda. Clearly, that is not a name that a person is given. Press, 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 press. Press, press.
How'd you capture the machine? How will it be punished? Where's the machine now? Can you tell us?
How will it be punished?
Where did you find the machine? There was something about who's making all these poisonous games. Will the machine ever explain itself?
Answer a few questions for the paper. Will the machine ever explain itself? Where did you find the machine?
I'm going to pause for a second and note that
Hello?
currently the thing in the world that I'm most excited about is the Coen Brothers' upcoming film, Hail Caesar.
I don't think
Have you seen the trailer for
I don't
it?
think I've seen the trailer for that.
We'll watch it after this,
Okay.
because I'm not going to stream the Coen Brothers trailer.
Yeah.
So note that I went in, hit a wall, and had to turn around and come back to a different place.
Oh. Oh, really?
Yeah, we really wonk it there.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And of course, it's the machine.
So my only option here is to tell it that I stopped.
You stopped.
Stopped feeding us.
And it doesn't answer. He's got a bunch of things to say.
People out there.
Can you imagine what pain we put them through?
I've been so alone. They're talking about me.
Apologize! Apologize!
I've seen the thing you fear. I promised I'd be brutal. Alright, then I will apologize to people on your behalf. You finding the boundary?
Yeah. I was gonna try to touch the machine, but I couldn't.
I can... There, go for it.
See. Oh, it's hot. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Was that worth it, everybody? Was it worth it?
I was trying to do that just without making a big deal out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be imperious.
My followers!
Troubling revelation. Refuses to admit it deliberately hurt us. We're stronger than it thinks we are.
That's unusually positive for this game.
Uh,
Pay it retribution, yes.
Yeah, let's stay negative.
Ooh,
Oh, let's
destroy the machine. I don't destroy all the stuff that's created. Oh, but no, you're playing the game.
Destroy everything that it created. I said brutal.
That just seems like self-harm instead of outward anger.
So Taylor, we are indeed playing the narrator attacking Coda, who is the machine, which is of course Coda self-abusing and feeling crappy. Hey, the theater, I played this level.
And now you have the gun from the very beginning of the game. And there's those, like, are those like endless stairs from a different level? Or is
No,
that
those are from the
part of the
theater
theater? Okay. So Davey put the gun in the first one just to give us a...
A point
So now
of
the work
reference.
is
Yeah.
becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly
Make
after
sure you
playing
were
it,
known forever.
here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, Would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work? So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
So you fall into the black vape space behind the door.
Here's the machine. In prison? Put down your weapon.
So I have no ability to look away or do anything other than shoot the machine.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need. To be told that my work is good. That I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good. Like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
So the timing on the end of that level was totally tied to Davy's stuff,
Yeah.
not the...
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one's called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
My guess is this one's going to be a real screw you to Davy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this geometry before.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
It's weird.
Taylor says, so this is Coda's way of saying you betrayed my trust and you hurt me? It might be. We haven't seen what the content of this is yet. Though, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Actually, has amazing.
That is amazing. Wow! Lasers.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
He doesn't show us what the maze was, he just puts a bridge over it.
I have been told that if you finish the maze, your reward is a voice clip of Davy going, damn!
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned the house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
So the house cleaning, if you'll remember, ended with you going through the door again and having a nice ending, and apparently that wasn't actually possible. real game.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the kind of part of the message of this is that when you have a friend who's in distress, doing the thing for them that you would want done for you is often not actually the solution. But people assume that all the time. It's like, oh, whenever I feel like this, what I need is X.
The only way past this
I'm
challenge
gonna
is to randomly guess the
enforce X
6-digit code.
on my friends, you know?
Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me except a lot of my time. If I could have reached it during this time, then maybe I could have asked it, but I couldn't.
If that's it, that'll be
I still don't really
amazing.
understand why this is here. I'll put the
It's
code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Oh, you've already read that somewhere?
it's the names of the levels. They're tarot card names.
What?
Yeah, the tower is 17. These are tarot card names.
What?
Or numbers. They're
Oh.
numbers associated. Some of the names of levels are tarot card numbers,
Okay.
which I only know because in Magical Drop 3 for the Neo Geo, you unlock the secret characters by putting the cursor on top of a character who's just the name of a tarot card. And when the number of seconds remaining in character select is the number of the tarot card that they are, you hit C 3 times, and then it unlocks 4 more characters.
I still have trouble believing that you didn't read this somewhere.
I read it.
Okay, thank you.
It's true, though.
Okay.
What I read was, these are the names and they're tarot cards. And I went, oh, it's 15, 16, 17.
Oh, okay.
Because they're in sequence.
It
It was a clue of tarot cards.
So Constellar Star says, could the invisible maze be part of the minefield of friendship? Sometimes you might say or go a direction that you don't know will hurt your friend. That makes a lot of sense, actually. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
sort of him sort of giving Davey the benefit of the doubt and saying, here's what I think you were doing. You're poking around in my life
The
and
switch
causing
to the
chaos.
door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely.
But he was doing that early on.
You know, that's it. That's the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
Not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, but I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution. But I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed. And I don't understand why.
I don't know, but you should
I
jump through
remember,
doom.
it's June of 2011.
Generally,
I'm
they've
playing this
not
for the very
permitted.
first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew. It wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them.
I like that as a theme. the idea that it's very easy to think you know someone because you've drawn a bunch of conclusions on your own.
Trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
He hasn't mentioned the 3 dots until now, has he?
Nope. We've talked about them.
Yeah.
I think they made them obvious enough that you're supposed to have seen a few of them. You get that reference, and if you don't,
It's pretty clever.
screw you. Hey, there was some color.
Yeah. Some kind of pink.
So that's something. But yeah,
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. but he stopped and left. It felt somehow like I had failed.
So
The way that Coda externalizes himself as the machine, and the way Davies talks about wanting to be someone else, I wonder if this is going to explicitly conclude with Davy treating Coda like it's another part of himself.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's definitely an aspect of, I know in interviews post Stanley Parable and that being a big hit, Davy talked about the depression success can bring on, and specifically talked about having all these people feel like they knew him and him be like, you played a game I made, and like, I don't even know if you understood what I was really trying to say with it.
Yeah.
We didn't connect. And if we did, it was very one way.
Dear Davy, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore. Wow.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. Poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable. And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally, for a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
So, this almost starts to feel like a commentary on the way that the audience of games behaves. You know, like anybody who makes a game, somebody will feel like that game is theirs now because of the way they experience it, and be very possessive.
And get a sense of possession on a thing that was made by usually a team of people.
Yeah, and sort of have it's sort of a sense of entitlement about it. Like I should be able, you know, this thing should exclusively serve my interests. Yeah.
Well, if this is actually, if Coda is a real person at this point, boy, has Davy done something inappropriate by releasing the finished
Yes, exactly. Stop adding lampposts to them.
That's great. So that whole lamppost motif wasn't really there.
I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all.
This is making Davy look like a crazy person. With the lamppost thing. This makes him look insane.
I have around you, I feel physically
ill. Taylor, no, I'm not trying to say that you. This is a commentary on you guys.
No, that's a much bigger thing than you guys. If we didn't enjoy the streams, we wouldn't be doing them.
Yeah, no, we really love connecting with you guys. It's and I know that you were just kind of joking around there, but it's there's sort of a toxic element of the gaming audience that you guys do not represent at all. You guys are you know, full of love and appreciation. There's been nothing but positive, you know, between us. What is the fact that you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than about me? Yeah, seriously.
Because he had a line earlier where he was like, "There's low points when you're creating. It happens. It's not a big deal."
Yeah. That doesn't make sense to you just yet. But anyway, I just wanted to quickly before we go on, like, but you've seen that, you know, like in like, you know, I don't know, Kotaku comment threads and stuff like that, where it's like when the worst elements of any community come out, they can really, I mean, they have this disproportionate impact on the creators. When you start to feel like, oh, this is the when I do this, this is what
Yeah.
comes back, even though that
Well,
actually represents a very tiny amount of who
when
actually
you
plays the game.
see a Steam review and they've got 300 hours, and they're like, "This game's garbage," and you're like, "Man, how many hours did you need before you felt like it was worth your money?"
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
You finally see what I'm talking about? Don't say anything?
So
Is he going to be able to avoid saying anything?
I'll go back and read through these once again. I realize this doesn't make sense to you just yet, which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you're wrestling. And when you finally see what I am talking about, don't say anything.
It's the same thing.
Except there's no switch this time.
Oh.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again?
But
Please.
that is the opposite of what this guy wants.
And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself
But
in.
the narrator's saying right now is a
Is
violation.
something wrong with me? Because
Wow.
I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again. Like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please. Start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing. You put in your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself.
The walls are
Please.
closing in.
Yeah.
I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
The end?
Is that the end? Epilogue? Okay, wow.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
I don't think that the Coda character in this game has anything to do with the Stanley Parable. I think there's folks making the guess that
Yeah, the
that
Stanley
this is-
Parable and him were him and William Bro, and Bro was very comfortable putting stuff out. Like he had levels in Team Fortress 2 already.
Yeah.
Signs don't say anything. Sure, I'll get on your train.
It's a train with no windows. That's creepy.
It's true.
I feel like we might be going to a bad place on this train.
Solution.
Oh, well, it's a very fast train. We're already here.
Video game trains are speedy.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. Wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed.
Taylor says
He just likes making prisons.
maybe Coda went into software development as under the name Stanley and worked in an office. It's all connected!
All these games are part of the Davyverse.
Yeah. What? game was it?
Daveverse?
What game or...
Do we prefer Davyverse or Daveverse?
I like Davyverse, but there was something I played recently that tied into something else like that. There was a really, or maybe it was a TV show or a movie. It's a really obscure. I can't remember what it was now. Oh well.
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
This place is weird. It's full of dust. Saw a cursor for a second. Yeah, oh, there we go.
So, walk to the light.
This looks like the first time I
Basically,
experimented with the
same.
Doom editor. I didn't understand the numbers, and so I made a really wide, flat room.
Doom was not good at that either. It's bad for the performance.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Yeah, that's something that I struggled with, especially when I was younger. I got, I got a ton of support and validation as a kid, but I never really, I had a great idyllic home life, but
You didn't like internalize it?
I did. Well, yeah, it's like I never, it wasn't until I was older that I sort of developed some concept of what I thought was worth doing and what I thought was respectable and what I so
Right.
so there was nothing I could do that would make me internally feel like I had value, basically until I got into game development, and it was that point where I was like, oh, this is a thing I can do that I like, and then I had children, and that was another one where I was like, oh, this has value, and I'm doing something that after I do it, I feel good about it, and no one has to tell me it was good because I already feel good about it. Though I like it when they tell me it's good. I certainly like all the positive feedback I get about my
I know
children.
that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. So I'm just gonna...
In the fiction of the game, did Davey make this? I think he has to, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Coda wouldn't have sent him anything else.
anything else. Unless this was a game he just randomly never shared with us. So Davey is detached. Our narrator who somehow couldn't handle finishing narrating the game, who did manage to package it, incorporate Steam and all that stuff.
It is interesting how it feels almost like he's early on. It feels like he's sort of constructed this work for us, but now it almost feels like he's playing it along with us and experiencing it alongside us,
Yeah.
and being surprised by the things that he should be surprised by.
Since he was theoretically here first. Stones with notches cut out of them. And here's the place to go. Slow rising elevator. What's up there?
That seems important. It's like the slow staircase.
If I was a cruel game developer, I would stop the elevator
Just shy.
here, right there.
Let's see if it actually would go past.
Oh, sure.
Or does it stop there? Let's see, it stops there.
I was making sure it didn't stop just because I was on. This looks...
Are we back in a train station? Feels like a train station. See you later, Coordinator. Thanks for coming by. It's interesting for the creator to cast himself, like his actual self, as the bad guy of the game.
I think if you're dealing with emotional trauma, as I think Davey was to a certain degree when he made this, it might actually make it easier.
Or are we imputing to him a kind of trauma the same way he did to Coda? You know,
By continuing to play.
like it could be like, you know, we assume he's working out some genuine emotional issue here, or he just thought this was neat and was entertained by the idea of messing with us this way.
Idea.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's that thing from the very first game.
I forgot it now.
You were going to walk into it, and originally you were supposed to die, but there was a bug. This was back
Oh,
when
you would
Coda
just
was
rise
making
above?
traditional
Oh, that's
games.
right. I remember that now. Enlightenment. Nirvana.
You rise up, but you don't get to see the level.
Oh, oh.
You do. Oh,
What? What?
a vast maze. I wonder at which point the geo shifts to just the texture. He did a good job making me wonder that.
That's enormous. Wow, that's pretty. That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's nicely done. Okay, quick solve it.
You can't solve it without a destination.
There.
Okay.
Of course, Davey's gone because he's working on his issues. So he's not there to.
For horror. Horror.
You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going.
This is the kind of game where I kind of want to sit through the credits. You
Sure,
know?
yeah.
A lot of them I skip because it's like 9,000 people from the publisher.
Miles and miles.
Wonder if R is Ryan Roth.
You were so
I don't know who that is.
I don't get it. He was a dude.
Oh, it just was up there.
I know who James Portnow is.
I do too.
I know Samantha Kalman.
You said Rami Ismail's in there too.
No, I know him also.
Those are some very short credits.
I guess not a lot of folks.
Wow. Well, that is the beginner's guide.
That was it. That was the whole beginner's guide. And now
2
we
sessions. How many chapters did that end up being? have 17 chapters.
We came back at 12.
Yeah. And yeah, it's about an hour each of 2 sessions. So there's your cost-benefit analysis.
It's not super long.
Yep, it is not super long, but that is an interesting experience that was
Yeah.
totally worth having, I think.
If you watched both of these, it's arguable that you had the experience, though I'm sure there are the dialogue choices you could have taken that we didn't.
Yeah, I bet they did not substantially affect the experience, though. I think. Yeah.
No, I'm guessing you got to read some extra text, and given that Davey thinks of himself as a writer first and foremost, reading some extra text is probably not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I base Davey thinking of himself as a writer first and foremost on the time I was reading a thing on his blog, Galactic Cafe, when they were working on Stanley Parable, and he said, I think of myself as a writer first and foremost.
That seems pretty good
So,
evidence.
I just wanted to call out,
Accurate.
like, I was not reading into this game and projecting an interpretation of Davey. I'm just quoting what he said one time.
Consailor Star says, I can't wait for the advanced guide. And Chronatosa says, or the idiot's guide. There's so many sequels this game could have now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there should be the Coda Responds DLC. Or no. It actually, there is something a little bit scary. I was talking to my folks about this over the weekend. With the fact that it's a little bit scary to make something that has an end, that you can't see yourself basically milking as a cash cow into the future. There's sort of a desire to make something like that,
Sure.
and that's where if any choice you make that cuts that off feels like you're losing something, you're giving something up. But yeah, so making this kind of thing, I mean, you kind of have to have some confidence. I mean, that's people criticize indie developers sometimes for self promotion or whatever, but really, when this is what you make. You can't make something like World of Warcraft. This is just going to last forever. You have to make things so you have to be your brand. Like, you have to be the thing that people know they can come back to again.
Well, that's,
and
I mean,
again
in the same way
stuff.
that people have opinions about publishers, there are people out there who are like, oh, I like Square's RPGs.
Yeah.
You need to have, Vlambeer doesn't have that. So they have, there's this guy Rami that we have who goes to every conference. He's constantly on an airplane and he knows everybody.
I wonder what percentage of Lambeer's resources go to travel expenses.
It's a really good question.
Because that guy is everywhere.
I'm sure at this point he gets a fair amount of "we'll fly you to the talk."
Probably so. Yeah, that's true.
But
still, though, yeah. So, hey, Yerond is here. I think it means more like you are the beginner and Davey is your guide through the games. It probably sort of it does kind of feel like that. The sort of the title. It feels like the title has more relevance to the setup than it does. I mean, I can't really think of it. It doesn't strike me as one of those titles where at the end of the game, now I get what the title means.
This does not feel like the easiest thing to title.
Yeah, no.
Like, I'm imagining being a person working on this game, trying to figure out what you name it.
Yeah.
That's not a pleasant experience. I hate naming things.
Yeah, no. I mean, when you hit on a really amazing name, that feels great. But a lot of times you never do. And
no, and you just wind up going like, well,
that's what I decided to call
this
it.
One.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we kind of lucked out with. I think both Breakdown and Lifeline worked out pretty well. Like they sort of felt like they had weighty meaning to them. But yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. That's hard to do, especially when you're trying to go for something pithy, and short. It's hard to pack all the meaning you want into a title that easily.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we should probably go back to work or something. So
did we spend another full hour on it?
This was a full hour. Yeah. This is. Well, I mean, I don't know if we started. It just said 1 o'clock. So yeah, if we.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I mean, we started pretty much at noon. So, thanks for being here, everybody. We love having you here.
Beginner's Guide.
And
nice seeing you
over here. And
when we said mean stuff about gamers, we didn't mean you.
Yeah, exactly. Or even.